Hi, welcome to Adults Seeking Knowledge. My name is Rintala. I'm a health and wellness coach and owner of Whole Health Results. There are a few things more sacred and important than our health. And honestly, good health is something that most of us take for granted, and especially in our younger years. My greatest advice to you is to not wait for your body to start showing you signs and symptoms that it does not like what you're feeding it, how you're moving it, and how you're treating it overall. I promise that if you start focusing on your health and wellness today, that you will be able to turn into one of those people who at each birthday is not dreading becoming older, but is actually feeling stronger and better than ever. For additional motivation, we have had a lot of recent research that has shown us that our diet, our exercise, and our environment can turn on or turn off genes of disease. So what this means is if you have a family history of, say, cancer or heart disease, what you are eating, the exercise you are doing, and the toxins that you are exposing to your body will actually be the predominant factor of whether you will be the recipient of that disease in future years. We honestly have so much control over our health. So right now is the time to establish a great doctor relationship. Find someone who's going to listen to you, who you have a good rapport with, who's going to take the time to create an individualized health plan and goal for you. And also, you need to go into your doctor and ask for foundational blood work. First off, you might find something that is not as optimal in your current health as you imagined it to be. But also, when you are older and something goes awry, because it will for all of us, you'll be able to look back and see what has changed and get to the root of the problem much faster. Okay, so how do we get to optimal health and wellness? There are many, many factors, but today we're going to focus on sleep, nutrition, exercise, among many more things. Okay, so first let's get into sleep. Y'all, lack of sleep is no longer something to brag about. Lack of quality and quantity of sleep sets off so many different physical reactions in our body. One of the largest is increasing our cortisol. Once that happens, it sets off a whole domino effect of other physical symptoms. One of the hardest ones is holding on to extra weight. The physical symptoms of lack of sleep are obviously extremely important. But I, in my practice with my clients, teach that it is actually the most important aspect of improving overall health and wellness, as it is the foundation for which you are going to make all other health and wellness decisions in your day. You don't get a good night's sleep, you wake up feeling groggy and tired and grumpy, you're not gonna put in the extra energy and effort to make that healthy breakfast to start your day. You're definitely gonna trade in your running shoes after work for a spot on the couch to binge watch Netflix. You're gonna reach for the extra cup of caffeine in the afternoon, which then you need an extra cocktail in the evening to unwind. You go to bed and guess what? You don't sleep well. It's a vicious cycle. But the good news is there are certain things that we can start implementing tonight to help you get the quality 7 to 8 hours of sleep that we each need. First off is don't eat 3 hours before you go to bed. This allows your body to go into full rest and rejuvenation mode rather than working on digesting your food. Second is such an important one and sometimes a hard one to do. We've got to put away our electronics at least 1 hour before bed. The blue light that our iPhone or iPads and even our televisions put off actually give the signal to our bodies that it's more around like 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Our bodies are smart and they're sensitive, and when they think that it's the middle of the day, our bodies are not going to send the signals to set off the systems that are needed to get our body into the quality rest. It's just so imperative that we put these away. As well, a super easy hack is just to turn down the AC in your room. Make sure it's cool enough. It's as simple as if our bodies are overheated, they will not be able to go into a restful state with uninterrupted sleep. As well, having a consistent bedtime and wake time is extremely important. Our bodies are cyclical and they have to know what to expect, otherwise your sleep cycle is going to be completely off. Make sure that you have your last cup of caffeine 6 hours before your bedtime. It takes our bodies this long to process the caffeine and to get them out of our bodies, and we just simply cannot get good sleep if our body has caffeine in it. As well, I'd like to teach all of my clients to adopt a journaling practice before they go to bed. Because let's be honest, one of the main reasons that we have such a hard time sleeping is we all have so many stressors in our lives. take a journal out, set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes, and literally go crazy, writing down anything you want, anything you're thinking about, anything that's stressing you out, even something that's exciting you. Let the pressure that builds up in our minds be released, and I promise it will have such a huge impact on your sleep. And lastly, this should just be something enjoyable. It should be something fun. Going to bed, we should feel like we're walking into our bedroom and walking into an oasis. There are so many things that we can do to have this be something we actually look forward to at the end of the day. One of my favorite practices is lighting a peaceful lavender incense or candle. Also, you can replace your traditional light bulbs with red light bulbs. This removes the blue light that we were talking about earlier and also just sets a beautiful, peaceful sheen in your bedroom. There are many great yoga and nighttime stretching videos you can find on YouTube. A hot shower or a bath is a wonderful way to prep your body for bed. You can also find your favorite book and make a hot cup of tea and let your mind unwind that way. There are so many different things we can do to make this feel like it is the absolute best reward for ourselves at the end of the day and will set us up to be able to start each day the best that we can. For sleep, there are so many different supplements and things you can take to help you fall asleep and stay asleep. It's an extremely individual thing and something that you would need to discuss personally with your own doctor or health coach. However, there is one supplement that is widely known to be extremely helpful and beneficial for most Americans. We are all very much deficient in magnesium, and it's something that really disrupts our body's ability to receive the proper rest that is consistent throughout the night. So now we've done all the things just discussed to receive a wonderful night of 8 hours of sleep. And we're going to wake up refreshed, rejuvenated, and excited to put all of our energy and effort into making the good diet choices for optimal health. The first thing I like to teach about nutrition, it is not about deprivation. We have to change our perspective to think about nutrition as fueling our bodies, to be able to be the selves that we want to be, to have energy, to have patience, to have creativity and focus throughout the day. We have to fuel ourselves, and we fuel ourselves with quality fats, a good amount of protein, and as many vegetables and fruits as we can possibly add to our diet. There are 3 points of good nutrition that if you can live by, I promise you will improve your health. The number 1 is it has to taste good. Because if it doesn't taste good, what are we doing? We're not here to torture ourselves, and also you're not gonna make long-lasting change with that. Number 2, it has to make you feel good. Food should not make you feel sluggish and tired and bloated after you eat it. It's a sign it doesn't work for your body. And number 3, of course, is it needs to provide quality nutrients, because what is a good diet without quality nutrients? So how can we create a nutrition plan that hits all those 3 points? First and foremost, add as many whole and unprocessed foods as possible. If you don't change anything else but this one fact, you will make a huge improvement in your diet. At each meal, just add a vegetable. It'll make a huge, huge move forward in improving what you're feeding your body. Number 2, quality is so important. The old adage, what you are, what you eat, is so true. You have to prioritize your food budget to be able to invest in grass-fed, pasture-raised, organic poultry, meat, and dairy products. It'll have a huge effect on your body. You do not want to be eating meats that have come from farms that are fed inflammatory foods and are shot up with antibiotics and all sorts of pesticides. It's not good for your body. As well, use the Environmental Working Group as an asset. They list the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. This will help you prioritize which of your grocery store items you should purchase organically. EWG also has many wonderful resources for young adults. They have great guides for how to buy organically on a budget. It's a wonderful website you should check out. Look, I would love to say we're all gonna get rid of processed foods, but that's not true. And again, we're not here to torture ourselves. But you know what we can do? We can improve the quality of processed foods we do eat. And we do that by simply learning how to read a food label. Turn over a food label and look for these couple of very specific things. No added sugar is ideal. If there is added sugar, look for something very minimal. Also, there should be minimal ingredients. The ideal number is 5 ingredients or fewer. However, if there are more ingredients, just use a common sense test. Look at the ingredients and say, can I pronounce these? Do I know what these are? Are they things I've heard of before? If the answer to these questions is no, you know that it's going to have ingredients that's going to make you feel bloated and is not going to be good for your gut. As well, look at the oils that are included in the processed foods. You want to look for foods that are made with olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil. Basically, any other oil that's listed as an ingredient is a huge red flag that the food is going to be inflammatory and is going to cause a lot of gut issues down the road. You guys are young, busy adults. Prepare yourself for your days ahead. You have many demands, busy schedules. Don't find yourself at 2 p.m. famished, pulling over onto the side of the road, looking for the fast food quick fix of French fries and a hamburger because you're starving. Arm yourself with all the snacks that you need. I love to have nuts, such an easy one. Ideally, look for raw nuts. As well, bring some chopped up vegetables with you and your favorite dip, a little thing of hummus. You can bring along berries. I love minimally processed meat sticks. They are a wonderful protein source and so much better for you than many of the protein bars out there, which trick you into thinking that they're a healthy swap, but they're actually just filled with really junky ingredients and oftentimes a ton of added sugar. Another really easy on-the-go hack is chicken bone broth. It has tons of protein, is so good for your gut health and collagen. You can put it in a thermos, heat it up in the morning, and take it with you and have available to you whenever you're famished throughout the day. We are all massively dehydrated, and it affects everything. I'm sure you all have often heard that sometimes our hunger is actually just that we are thirsty. The one change you could start making today is first thing when you wake up, after brushing your teeth, have a full glass of water. I also like to advise people to have at least one serving of water a day that is supplemented with electrolytes and minerals, because it is actually the electrolytes and minerals that allow our cells to receive the proper hydration. It's not just water on its own. A lot of times we are feeling low energy, especially in the middle of the afternoon. This is an immediate sign that you are not getting enough protein. The amount of protein that you should get is extremely individual and based on your personal circumstances. However, I can tell you, do whatever you're doing now and try to up it. Try to have a protein source at every meal. And when it hits 4 o'clock and you're just feeling that end of the day sluggishness and tiredness, reach for a high protein snack. It will make all the world of difference and will help you continue on successfully and have the energy and discipline to then go make good dinner choices. Last but not least, is really learning how our bodies respond to the food that we feed them. It's, again, such an individual thing. What I like to advise my clients to do is to try an elimination diet. This means taking a diet and removing all of the inflammatory things that can cause all of the low energy, the bloating, the sluggishness, the achiness that we can often feel. There are many great resources that you can find online. I love Dr. Mark Hyman is a wonderful functional medicine who has a 10-day sugar detox. The website Goop has many wonderful food elimination diets. I've done Chroma with many of my clients. There are so many resources. You can find one that works for you. But basically, what you'll be doing is just taking the gluten, the dairy, the sugar, the caffeine, the alcohol, or whatever variety of that works best for you, removing it from yourself, and then seeing what your reaction is. What do you feel best with? Slowly adding the back end. Give your body a baseline of nutrition, and then slowly add things back in to see what works best for your health. To have really good nutrition, we've got to start making more of our meals at home. It's really hard to meet those 3 points of nutrition we discussed earlier if we were constantly eating out. They just naturally resort to very high sodium, a lot of the inflammatory oils that we just discussed, and tons of sugar in their food. You will notice if you start adding more home-cooked meals to your weekly regimen that once you do eat out, you're like, oh, I'm feeling bloated and full. It will make you want to continue to add to the amount of meals that you prepare at home. If you don't do any right now, just start with one. And we couldn't be here today without talking about exercise. Truly, exercise is something extremely individual and not a one-size-fits-all. But my best advice for you today is to take wherever you are and add to it. If you're currently not doing anything, that's okay. Start walking. It's the cheapest, easiest thing to do to start improving your physical health. Walking is such an easy thing to incorporate into our lifestyle and daily rituals as well. I often like to teach my clients that, say you have a job that has a lot of conference calls, pop on your headphones and listen to the conference call as you're walking around the block. Or another great option is the walking desk. If you have a job where you sit at the computer for a good majority of the day, then ask your boss or your employer if they would buy for you or reimburse you for one of these desks. Walking also, though, can just truly be incorporated into your day and be an enjoyable habit to start your day off with in the morning or to wind down your day after work. I love to pop on my headphones. I have so many podcasts that I have learned to love, whether they're entertainment or motivational ones, or find a favorite book on Audible that you'd love to listen to. The time will fly by and you will honestly forget that you're exercising. If you do currently have exercise in your life, that's awesome, and there are ways we can always build. One of the areas that I love to focus on is building muscle mass. As we age, we all naturally lose part of our muscle. So to be able to build it up in our younger years is so incredibly important. And guess what? You don't have to be a gym rat to really work on muscle strength, unless you want to, of course. But there are many wonderful online programs that I have found and used over the years that have tutorial videos teaching you how to do particular muscle movements and strength training, and also provide programs that offer 2 to 3 segments per week, and honestly most of them don't last any longer than 20 to 30 minutes. It's an extremely easy routine to fit into your day. Now, if you do have a good baseline of cardio health, I really suggest incorporating interval training where you have increased rapid burst of heart rate to bring up your cardio strength and endurance. Cardio strength and endurance has been proven over and over in all of the research to be such an important factor for our overall health and wellness, and doesn't just affect our ability to be great at exercise, it affects every system in our body. Now, how can we take these exercise tips and actually make them enjoyable in our days? There are a couple of things I've noticed in the clients I've worked with throughout the years. Number one is this should be fun. Exercise is something that should be fun. Pick up a game where exercise is just a side effect. Enjoy picking up and learning tennis, or pickleball is so popular right now and a wonderful workout. You can also even do golf as long as you're walking along the course. Around Atlanta, we have so many wonderful walking nature trails that again, get you outside, get you the vitamin D. And the best part is there are things that you incorporate doing with friends. I promise you that if you have a buddy who you try to incorporate exercise with, you will be so much more successful. Research has shown that if you do it in a community, that oftentimes people are twice as successful at sticking to their goals as well as losing weight and improving their physical health. What I have found in all the clients who I've worked with over the years, that to be successful in meeting our exercise goals, planning and preparation is extremely important. It seems to be one of the elements of overall health and wellness that we are so easily able to procrastinate. So pick a time and stick to that time. Even if you put your shoes on and just get the 5 to 10 minutes done, stick with a consistent routine and regimen, and you will find success. So now we have all the core knowledge about how to improve our health and wellness when it comes to sleep, nutrition, and exercise. And that's step one, a huge step. However, how do we take that knowledge and turn it into daily, consistent action to make some really positive changes in our life? To be able to do that, we have to have knowledge about how to build healthy habits and be able to stay consistent with them. The first thing I tell all of my clients, start small. If you, for example, right now are not doing any exercise, make the goal to be to walk 10 minutes a day. It does not have to be anything bigger than that. And you know what? Most times, once you put your running shoes on and you start your walk outside, you are going to far surpass your goal. Talking about starting small, that also means don't try to overhaul your whole life. Don't take all these tips that you heard about today and try to implement them all at once. Find the 1 to 2 most important things that you think will have the most profound immediate effect on your lifestyle right now and tackle those. I like to always remind people that the journey to optimal health and wellness, there is no finish line. Our life ebbs and flows and is going to have different challenges that we have to meet at different stages. Look to just master 1 to 2 things at a time. I call it building a brick wall. And once you put those 1 to 2 bricks on, then you'll move on to an additional 1 to 2 bricks, and you'll have a really solid foundation that you're working towards. Along those same lines, there's something so important about being able to track our progress and being able to reward ourselves. So for example, I have a paper calendar, and when I have a new habit that I'm trying to implement, I put a little star on each day that I have accomplished it. There are many wonderful habit tracking apps you can do. It is a feedback mechanism that shows you are keeping a promise to yourself and that you're making forward progress. And then set little milestones. Find times where you can reward yourself. Give yourself some sort of self-care day or whatever makes the most sense for you. As well, I teach people don't ever miss twice in a row. I find this to be so important. For example, going back to exercise. If our goal is to exercise 10 minutes a day and one day you just come home and you are exhausted, or you get a last-minute invite to a friend's dinner. Awesome, that's great. That's life. And again, we're not here to torture ourselves. We're here to give ourselves grace and to go with the flow. But do everything in your power to not miss twice in a row. I find that if you miss twice in a row, you start losing your momentum, and what you're doing is you're starting to create a habit in a different direction. As well, create an awareness habit. You cannot manage what you do not measure. Our health is so individual, like we've talked about several times today. And so it's important for you to take ownership of your own health and to start noticing how you feel and how different habits and rituals make you feel. So I like to remind people to start a notes document in your phone or carry along a small journal with you in your bag and write down how much did you sleep, when did you wake up, what did you eat, what was your energy like, did something make you feel super bloated, were you feeling exhausted at 4 p.m., did you feel jittery after your cup of coffee. This is all the feedback that you need to receive to know what habits and rituals around diet, exercise, and sleep work best for you. And this will allow you to be able to notice where you need to make changes and become a true advocate of your own health. And speaking of awareness, I am also referring to finding a mindfulness practice. It is such an important component of our health. We all have so many stressful emotions and worried thoughts and self-defeating thoughts and feedback that our body is giving us. And we have to find a way that works for us to get quiet with ourselves, to be able to receive that feedback. Because honestly, good health or health of any state is a constant feedback mechanism. And we are constantly being told and given the feedback for what we need to do to make small improvements to create that optimal health and wellness that we're after. And we can't do that without a great mindfulness practice. I have tried millions of different types of mindfulness. It can be a walk in nature, it can be breathing exercises. My favorite is meditation, and there are many wonderful meditation apps. Mine include Insight Timer or the Calm app. Or as well, you can go onto YouTube and find so many free meditations that will help guide you through how to become more aware of what I like to call that little roommate in our brains. Let's not let it control our lives and self-sabotage any progress that we are trying to make in our health and wellness. And last but not least, a really fun part of creating habits and rituals and trying to establish a new goal in our health and wellness is finding a term that's called expanders. This is a term created by the founders of To Be Magnetic. And what it's basically saying is, if you want to go to the next level, find other people who are already at that level. Find people to follow on social media, find shows to watch, find YouTube videos to learn about. Show people taking on and being successful at the new habits that you are trying to create. We need the community around us when we are trying to make changes for ourselves. Thank you for tuning in to Adult Seeking Knowledge. Again, I'm Amanda Rintala, a health and wellness coach and owner of Whole Health Results. Remember that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one single step, and I know that each of you today can take one step towards optimal health and wellness.